back. This is Dominic Cicali with Mafia Roundtable Live at Bocelli's Modern Italian Restaurant in Tampa. Okay, first off, we're also here to do a fundraiser for kids. So we'll accept all donations through the channel, Super Chat. Donate. 100% is going into a 501c, sending it over to the attorneys. Everything. And the way YouTube works it out, they'll let us know what was made on that certain day, and 100% will go there. And then we're going to go to schools, churches, and see who really needs the funds. We're going to help out with clothing, maybe school supplies, and everything else. So, and I'll keep on announcing it through the podcast. So, everything today which generated goes directly for the kids. So, the first story we'll talk about has to do with Ralphie Balsamo, who actually at the time when I was out there, he was just a soldier with the Genovese crime family. Now he's a captain. Ralphie, nice guy, but in my eyes, he wasn't a thug. He wasn't a street guy. He was just, to me, he was a wannabe that just was well liked and went up through the ranks. And of course, through the funeral parlor, you know what happens there. You know, he has a funeral parlor, there's bodies, so a lot of unsolved murders, you know where bodies go. They, it was said that they do double burials, they double up the caskets, so, who knows, but Ralphie had, the Genovese crime family had their use for Ralphie. This one time, I'm out. It's myself, Anthony Donato, I think Vinny Basciano Jr. was with me, and somebody else. We were out, we had to go to an event. Somebody's, I think, engagement. So we were all dressed up. After the engagement, we went back down to the Bronx. We're at a place called Tuska's. Nice place, Albanians owned it. It was like just a neighborhood place. Food was okay. Bar scene was really good. A lot of girls go there, a lot of neighborhood people. So on this one particular night, place is jam-packed. And as I walk in, there's two big bouncers at the door, black guys, massive. So, they know me. We go right in. The owner's there, says hello. We walk to the back area. So we're hanging at the bar. In the meantime, I called up my dear friend, Jimmy, Big Jimmy McManus. Hey, I'm at Tuska's, come join us. So he says, all right, I'm with Vito and Jason. I said, bring them on, have them come. So he says, all right. So we're having some drinks. I mean, we have sports jackets on, we're all dressed up. So having some drinks, having a few laughs, talking with the girls. And who's sitting at the bar? He's about maybe middle part of the bar, maybe about 20 feet away from us, Ralphie Balsamo, and one of the young kids in the neighborhood. And at this time, Ralphie and I, we were never introduced as friends. And Anthony Donato wasn't introduced as a friend either. So, but we knew he had just gotten straightened out, so we know. One of the first things he does when we're talking to him, we're brothers, he hits me with. I'm like, I've heard, but in due time. Meanwhile, I'm telling him, in due time, I'll get introduced to you that you're a friend. And by him saying we're brothers, to me, he's a jerk off because he shouldn't even be saying that. But this is a guy who hides behind his badge, meaning made guy, mafia. So we're having our drinks, and all of a sudden my cell phone rings. I pick it up. It's Jimmy, Dom. I'm like, where are you? He says, I'm at the door. This fucking guy won't let me in. He says I have to take off my baseball cap. They had on baseball cap. Or maybe Jimmy, one of the guys or two of them had baseball caps on. So I'm like, what do you mean? Tell him, say you could come in. The owner says it's all right. They tell him, he says no. I says, I'll be right up front. So I go up to the front, and I tell the guy. Now the guy's maybe about 6'4", 6'5", 270. Jimmy's a big boy. Jimmy's about 6'2", 245, 250 pounds. I'm weighing about maybe 225, 230. So I'm like, hey pal, they're with me, it's okay. So he says, no, they can't come in. So what do you mean they can't come in? They have to take off their hats. I'm like, no, they keep their hats on, they're okay. Ask the owner. You know, it's all right, he's with me. So as he was trying to get him to come in, I'm like, he's with me, come on guys. All of a sudden he puts up his arm. So I said, the owner wound up coming over. He said, no, it's okay. Let him in. Puts down his arm, and he said something, because we had a few words, but he said, I hear him say, your mother. So I turn around, what the fuck do you say? He says, your mother, but the way he spoke, I'm thinking he's saying something about my mother. But meanwhile, he was like, just saying, your mother should have taught you respect or manners. I heard your mother. Right after that, like, I pivot, crack, I hit him. I throw a right, left. So now he's stumbling and he grabs me up here on my collar. I mean, we go to work on him. All of a sudden, now Jimmy, everybody, we're just fucking him up. He's holding me, trying to hold me. So they break it up. I go to the back. He went right to the bathroom. They took him to the bathroom. Blood's all over the place. So the owner comes over, Dom, I'm sorry. I apologize. He's going to leave. There's not going to be a problem. Okay, no problem. I'm cool. Like, the only thing was my shirt was ripped. I'm okay. So, and we're laughing. We're in the back now. It's maybe 5 minutes goes by. And I'm like, everybody's like, Dom, you all right? Yeah. Jimmy, you see, you had to fucking come with your goddamn hat. You started a fight. We're all dressed up. I don't want to fight. So with that, they tell me the guy left. All of a sudden, guy comes out of the bathroom and comes walking towards me. As he's walking, he gets close. That's it. I'm not hearing anything. I start throwing punches at him. Again, starts wobbling. Grabbing my shirt. Jimmy's on top of him, picking up a table on the floor, hitting him with the table. Now the whole bar, remember, this is a neighborhood place. This guy, everybody got off their bar stools. Everybody's pounding him. Anthony's hitting him, Anthony Donato, kicking him, punching him. I mean, everybody's going to work. So we wound up leaving. That's it. Somebody, went to work on him. We're leaving. And I noticed fucking Ralphie Balsamo's sitting on the fucking bar stool as I left. And the young kid, he was actually in the mix with us. So we go to a place called Cafe Sueños. It's in off of Havamaya Avenue in the Bronx. And that place was around us as well. So we're all there. And I'm looking like everybody now, my sports jacket's ripped, that blood on my pants, my shoes, just everybody. There was something wrong. And I'm looking at Anthony Donato. He had the phone on his hip, still there. Not a hair out of place. Perfect. And I know he was on the floor tussling, like kicking him and I'm like, look at this fucking guy. He hasn't, like, he's perfect. Like, he didn't have a fight. And we were hysterical laughing. So I'm telling the guys what happened with Ralphie. And they're like, Dom, he just sat on the bar. He didn't do shit. I'm like, that dirty motherfucker. So afterwards, the next day, see Vinny. Vinny right away went up to Tuska's because now we heard the cops went there. So he said, give me the fucking tapes. Got the tapes. He says, if any of my guys get locked up, your place is going to be shut down. You'll never open up in this neighborhood again. No, you don't know. Listen to me. You'll never open up in this neighborhood again. And that's the way he kept it. So I'm telling Vinny, he said, what happened? I said, I went through the whole story. I said, that fucking Ralphie Balsamo, what a fucking punk. He wants to tell me he's a brother, letting me know he's a made guy, which he shouldn't have did. He should have waited until we were introduced. But then a fucking brawl breaks out. He's on the bar stool. He didn't get up. So right away, Vinny, without even telling me, goes see, I think he went to speak to Patty Falsetti, Patty boy. Mentions it to him. And Vinny comes back and says, Ralphie made a point. He said there was so many guys there, you didn't need help. I said, Vinny, I wouldn't care if there was 1,000 guys. He's a friend. He made that comment, so he knows we're friends. He's supposed to just go regardless. Vinny said, oh, you made a point. He should be there before the civilians, meaning the guys who aren't made, like the younger kid. I said, that guy's just a fucking punk. He can't talk to me. I'm not even gonna bother with him. And I'll be abusive with him from here on out. So I just didn't like that. I didn't like that excuse. So that was the Ralphie Balsamo story. And thanks to my friend Big Jim, caused a whole big problem, big incident there. But we had a great time, a lot of laughs. So also people, please donate today. All funds, all the super chats, all the donations go directly to the kids. We're putting everything in a 501c, and we'll allocate all the money. I'll let everybody know how much money was collected and then what we're donating to, who we're donating to. Lee, you're gonna go on the phone, look to see. Lee, you already had a few drinks, few cocktails, few EG drinks. Maddie's over there smiling, so I know she's drinking. Oh, we also have another story coming on. We have a dear friend of mine, Tom, he has a story about Detroit, right? The horse tracks with the boss of Detroit when you were a kid? Okay. So Tom's going to come on and tell his story. But please, people, reach into your pockets tonight, donate, super chat. Send $1, $2, $5, 10,000, whatever you want. $10,000, we'll take it. So don't worry, just send the money, break open the piggy bank. It's for kids, it's going to a good cause. Lee's trying to look at his things to see if anybody's donating or chatting. Carrie, could you go on and look? Let us know. Everybody's in La La Land tonight. They're listening to the story. They're being absorbed. Oh, you don't need the mic. You can speak loud or come up here. Right, come live.
So Xavier James said, Big Tom, we're here, baby. Congrats on your fundraiser for the kids. And then he just wanted to know where the place was. That was a little bit old. And then got a question here from the Sicilian. He says, hey, Dom, what's up with the funniest moment with Vinny Gorgeous?
The funniest moment with Vinny Gorgeous had to be, well, there was another time. Well, that wasn't funny. The funniest moment had to be with the cop in the Corvette. When the cop, after he stopped us doing we were doing 147 miles an hour, and the cop says, tell me that was you doing 120 or 130, whatever it was. And Vinny said, no, it wasn't me. I was doing 148. And furthermore, you would have never caught me. That had to be the funniest moment with Vinny.
Another question came in, 1.57. Hey, Dom, I'm curious, did you know Chris Cash? He owned Planet Cigars across the street from Parkside Restaurant and Spaghetti.
No, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let's see what else you got here. Dom, was Vinny flashy with the cars, watches, etc.? Love the show.
Vinny was flashy at one time, and the reason I know that, when I came home, Vinny wasn't flashy. He just had his Lincoln Navigator. His wife had the top-of-the-line Mercedes 2-door. But prior to that, I was the one flashy with the cars, and Vinny would bitch. So one day I go to see Big Ernie. He's with the Genovese crime family. And I tell him, he says, what the fuck's he talking about? You get whatever car you want. Vinny, he had his cars back in the day. He said, enjoy yourself. And so I told Vinny that. Vinny's like, I just tell him to mind his own business. But Ernie would never mind his own business when it came to me.
All right, next question from Jason. This is Dom. Do you have funny jovial moments with Mikey the Nose, or was he just a pain in the neck?
I have no funny moments with Michael. I don't like him. The only funny moment that I could say, looking back, and I might do a spoof with this one, when Michael Nose didn't want to elevate Louis Electric to official captain, and he said, I'm not going to do it. I called Louis out of the car. I elevated Louis to official captain, and then Michael Nose shook his hand and congratulated him after I did it. That had to be, to me, that was hilarious. Like, you jerk off. Know the life better.
All right, James says, hey, Dom, you're slurring your words, having a good time. It's only 6 o'clock. You're going to be puking later, basically.
James, don't even go there. I'm not slurring my words. This is not even half a drink. So don't go there. Don't get my wife started, James.
All right, Curtis says, have you ever lost a fight before being made member of the New York Mafia?
Before being made, I lost to, when I was a kid, I would get beat up. I'm talking young. There was a time in Wilkerson Park, Michael Sullivan, I was gonna fight one of his friends, and he started, and that one time, I used to beat up Michael as a kid, younger. So I would say, yeah, he was bullying me, beat me up, and then my boy Peter Serpico got my back and was like, no, leave him alone, leave him alone. But as far as beating up, I would say one of the only ones was Stephen DeLuca when he grabbed me that night and took me to the cemetery.
All right, we got our first donation from Mike. It says, what do you miss the most about the life?
What was the donation so we could thank him properly? Does it say on there?
Yeah, it's a $3 donation.
Thank you for your $3 donation. It's going straight to the kids to help kids. So thank you. Thank you, Mike. Get Lee.
All right, the next one is, how many associates did Vinny have when he was a soldier?
How many associates? You could have hundreds around you. You know, you have a lot. But you forgot to ask Mike's question.
Mike Heaney asks, what do you miss most about the life?
Yeah, what do you
What's
miss,
that?
What do you miss most
about the life?
Oh, what do I miss most about the life? Going out 4 or 5 nights a week. My wife is like, uh-oh, there she goes.
You still do.
Really?
Yeah, you still do.
Till 4 or 5 in the morning?
Oh no, not 4 or 5 in the morning.
I can't. Speak up, woman.
Oh, you know. Oh, you know better. I'm speaking up to the audience. You know better.
No, yeah, she says I go out all nights a week. I'm home by 7:30.
I think what you miss most
What do I miss most?
is about telling everyone what to do.
Oh, ordering people what to do? Nah, I never ordered people. That wasn't me. Watch, people are saying, oh, bullshit. Gedley.
All right, we got, let's see, we got another super chat donation from OneGod57 for $9.99.
Thank you for the $9.99 going to the kids. Thank you so much.
That's all we got.
That's it?
That's all the questions right now.
No more questions? Oh my God, this is an easy one today. Well, are there people on the live?
We're at 185.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Tom, you want to come tell your story? Get up here. And you can bring your drink. Come on, let's go. There we go.
OneGod57 said he's doing it for the kids. So.
Thank you. That's it. And it's going to all for the kids. We got Tom Collins here. Here we go. Good friend of mine. We have a lot of stories with the PPE business. Oh my God, how we first met. Tom tried robbing me, tried taking everything from me, and then that wasn't happening. But
yeah.
Nah, I had a good time. But joking aside,
That was before I knew his past history. You know.
Speak louder.
Oh, but no,
That
great
was,
guy,
that
great
was
guy.
before you knew my past history.
That's before I knew I thought he was just a common guy, and then when I found out who he was, I'm kidding. But great guy. No, we've had some big stories with PPE. I don't even want to go there.
Oh my God.
That was drama.
Listen, this business, well, I'll go into another segment. But Tom has stories from back in the day with his father, with the horse races and stuff.
You know,
and Lee, if you have super chats or anybody donates, just interrupt, you know. Because tonight we're doing this for the kids. Go ahead, Tom.
So no, I think I got a good story. Back in, I was born in Detroit, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. My father was with General Motors, and he also had about 50 thoroughbreds that we used to race around the country. And a great friend of his was a guy named Jack Tocco. You can Google him and see. He was the longest-standing mob boss in Mafia history.
Jack Tocco.
Jack Tocco. Great guy, came to the house all the time, but he owned, my father had racehorses, and Jack Tocco owned Hazel Park Racetrack, where we would run some horses.
I'm sure you could, there was a lot of fixing going on there.
It was quite, you know, and you know, they referred to my father as a pillar of the community. He's with automotive industrialists, and he's in the horse racing business, and he had great athletes behind him, Gordie Howe, Al Kaline, which at the time were two, you know, big stars in probably the biggest. So he said to Jack, he said one day, he said, you know, Jack, I'm going to sell my horses. He said, because if I can't take my family into the track, he said, this is no good for me, And so Jack said, why? What's the problem? You had to be 18 to get into a racetrack back then. So Jack said, well, how old's your son? He said, well, he's 12. He said, well, bring him. So we went into the track on a Saturday. I went through the turnstile, and the guy said, well, how old are you, kid? And I said, I'm 18. He said, all right, good, go on in. Just to show you Jack Tocco, I didn't know him as a kid what he was.
Right.
He's a
You don't,
great
at
guy,
that age.
really was, and just would do anything for anybody. So we had a horse running that day, and it was back in 1970. I was born in 58, so which puts me at 12. And I have a picture which really tells the whole story, which is really cool. I'm in there in the picture in the winner's circle. My father wanted to use a jockey who was only 18 years old. It was a big race. The horse that ran third won the Derby that year. And everybody was in contention, said, no, you can't do that, use your right. The jockey that we usually use broke his ankle, and it's in this picture showing that he's got a cast. So his kid, Billy Baird, was 18 years old. So we run the race, we win the race, we set a new track record at the time. Billy Baird was riding. Now, Jack never put his wife in the photos, ever.
No.
Right? So in this photo, as you can see, there's Jack Tocco right there in his silk suit. That's my dad. That's Jack's wife right there on the end with the white.
Yeah, give them turn around. They'll do a close-up on it.
A great story behind it. Not only did we set a track record.
You got it?
We've got an 18-year-old riding the horse. Jack Tocco, who, Google him, he was just a great guy, but dead now. But he was the longest-standing mob boss of all time. So, as a kid, I was, I didn't look at him in that way.
Right. Would you call him Uncle Jack?
Yeah, no, it was great. I was sitting at the table one day, and his brother Tony Tocco was there, and my father used to have silks because in horse race you had ours were a fluorescent orange and white silks, so we could see it from a distance coming out of the gate.
But
my dad would always breathe speed to get speed, right? So we'd go quick. But anyway, his brother was sitting there, Tony, again, big dude in Detroit.
Right.
Joe Zarelli there, Jack Tocco here. So he's got a pair of binoculars, and they got a zoom where you can zoom in. This was back in 1970. I've never seen anything like it. So he said, kid, here, try those. What do you think? I said, damn, these are nice. He said, you want them? I said, really? He said, yeah, you can have them. That's how those guys were. They just, and you can look at, like the stories that Dom will tell you, which I tell him all the time. I said, dude, it's like a human interest. People love this shit, right? They really love to hear the stories, right?
Listen, the old timers, they were good. Even I said a story, there was a guy, Uncle Buddy, that my father used to drive around. And I didn't know he was a powerful captain in the Lucchese crime family. And I remember I wanted the big boom box. And Uncle Buddy went to one of his guys, hey, get me one of those big boom boxes, the biggest one. Came, just gave it to me, here.
Yeah.
And the thing was, at that time, back in, I would say, what was it? 70s, late 70s. It was like $185, almost $200 for his boombox, and it's like, just gave it to me. Here, kid.
Yeah.
Come here. And it was just weird. They were like that, though. That was part of the mafia.
But, they were great people, really. Jack used to coach Little League baseball, right? Everybody loved him. But you hear the Jimmy Hoffa stories, and I remember back in the day, and we're from Detroit. My father was pretty big time. He was on the '68 Olympic Committee with Lee Iacocca and the rest, and Tocco's. And when Jimmy Hoffa was missing, he actually was Macus Red Fox, my brother, who was deceased just a few months ago, which I'm here with my niece's husband, Nash. But at Macus, we knew at the time that's where Jimmy Hoffa was missing, right? Everybody knew it was Macus, but then they said, oh, is it buried in Jersey, buried here? Not bullshit. Jimmy Hoffa was running the Teamsters, and it was the largest pension fund in the country. My father owned a Riviera Hotel with a bunch of people, right? Was a shareholder back in the day, back in the 60s. And it was one of the bigger hotels of that time. They've since demolished it. But all of Vegas was built in that day that was run by basically the mafia.
Right.
Today it's all corporate. But it was out of the Teamsters pension fund. When they put Jimmy Hoffa in prison and Fitzsimmons came in and took the position to lead it, when Jimmy Hoffa came back out, he wanted his job back. And they said, no,
right.
You're not getting your job back, right? And that was his whole thing. That's when he came up. he went to Macus and never been seen since. But that's kind
That's
of
right. Listen, when the mob tells you to do something, you better do it.
you better do it.
Well, that was back then. Nowadays,
Yeah,
it's just
different.
It's totally different lifestyle. But thank you.
So no, good story.
Appreciate it. Good
you
seeing
got
you.
it, man. Not gonna match
Thank you
your
for
stories,
coming.
but you got
no.
it.
Listen,
got it.
come on again. There's a lot more to talk about.
You
and
got
I
it.
Appreciate it.
We'll bring up some more stories, right? Maybe
Yes,
we'll
we
go
will.
to the PPE.
And we'll have some more drinks. Oh, we'll
Yeah.
definitely go to PPE with those stories.
All right, now.
People won't believe it. But folks, do we have any comments?
Yeah, Alexander Wilson gave $10.
Thank you, Alexander. It's going for the kids.
He said there's a classic prison picture with Bruno, Tony Donato, Rob Lino Jr., and a Philly member named Damian Canalicho,
Okay.
who goes through what goes through your head when you hear those names.
Actually, I saw the picture. I think they're in, I want to say Danbury? It breaks my heart when I see Bruno and Anthony Donato. But, it is what it is. They're both home now, so I wish them the best. And I hope they stay away from that mob shit. So it's only going to lead to Bruno wind up getting the both of them will do life in prison next time around.
This is from JD. It says, who is in charge, Dom or the cat?
Oh, Maddie, you hear that one? Who is in charge, Dom or the cat?
Oh, definitely Kayla.
Kayla, the cat, without a doubt. She has me, oh my God, she has me doing, my wife says, you'll be rah, 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 and then you hear meow, oh baby, come here, honey. Like, look at this bitch. People, don't forget, donate. Super chat, hit some money up for the kids. It's all going to kids. We're going to help kids today.
All right, the next question is, did you ever deal with the Serbians in Queens?
No, I did not.
Did you ever have the eggplant parm at Vito's in Pelham Bay?
Eggplant palm at Vito's? No. Actually, no. You could send me one.
All right, it says, who do you look up to the most that was involved in the life that you knew personally when you first got involved?
Big Ernie Muscarello. Oh, go ahead. There's more?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No.
Yeah, Taylor asks, can you talk about Sal the Iron Worker Montana? What attributed to his rise to power so quickly?
Sal the Iron Worker, I liked him. I had a little falling out with him, but I liked him. I didn't dislike him. His rise in power, everybody got arrested. Just like Michael. That's how Michael got elevated so quickly to acting boss. Michael went from an acting captain to an acting boss. Or acting underboss, actually, then the acting boss to the boss. But Vinny wanted to keep everything close in the neighborhood, so did Michael. This way they had control over everything. Next.
Roy Munson asks, can you tell us a bit about Kevin Kelly? Was he treated equal among the Italians? I read a story of a guy who shared his cell and said he was one of the most stand-up guys that he ever met.
Absolutely. Kevin Kelly, great guy. Till this day, I love him. 1,000%. And he actually had more respect than most of the Italians that were in Lewisburg Penitentiary at that time. Very, very, they considered him one of us.
Donated $50.
Eric, thank you. Eric couldn't be here tonight. Told me, and Eric, I apologize for laughing, but this can only happen to Eric. He's driving his car, his hood went up, and he had an accident. So only Eric it could happen to. Eric's a great, he's okay. Maddie's going, oh my God. No, he's fine. But he tried getting a rental car to come tonight. But Eric, thank you so much for your donation. And as you know, it's going for the kids.
Did you ever have any dealings with the New Jersey family in Elizabeth, New Jersey?
No, not really. We had some groups out there from Bonanos, but no, I didn't deal with them. Gedley, what's the matter?
Oh, no, it's okay. So Jason says, hey, Dom, that music sounds poppin'. Get up and bust a move.
throw some money this way, I'll bust a move for the kids.
Just says, sorry for your loss, sir. Talking to Tom's brother.
Oh, okay. Tom gave it thumbs up.
All right, so that's oh, he says, hey Dom, is there still an Irish mob?
I'm sure there is. Listen, they just don't go around like they once did. They don't call it a mob, and there's really no violence. But I'm sure connections are still out there to do things. But you know, everything's legal nowadays, and whatever illegal, it's low key, very low key. That's it. We're done. This is a short fundraiser.
Eric says he'll see you in Port St. Lucie.
Okay. We will definitely be doing another one in Port St. Lucie. So stay tuned for that one. We'll make our rounds around the state of Florida.
All right, here's a question for you. Is how soon were you promoted to acting capo after you got made?
I think as soon as I got made, Vinny sent word in, asked if he could have me as his acting captain. It might have been a month or two. I became his acting captain. Vinny felt I was around him 24/7, that who better than me?
I have a question.
Yes.
It's not on here. It's my question.
Oh, okay.
So when you were younger with your father, who was the biggest influence? Was it your father? Was it the neighborhood? Was it someone specifically
Biggest influence for my criminal life?
for wanting to get into that
I guess
life?
the streets. The streets. I would say, the streets. My biggest person that I would say that I loved was Big Ernie. He treated me more of a father than my own father. And not just about the life, sticking up for me as a kid, just teaching me how to box, how to defend myself, how to carry myself. And then, just, I would say he was the biggest influence.
Do you regret that influence today?
No,
or
not at
what
all.
do
Made me the person I am today. I regret the things I did in my past, but I don't regret my past because that made me the person I am today. So, and I've been through a lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups, but it's part of life.
I like the story, and you haven't told the story about your father and when we went to go and visit your cousin, where she pulled it out of, and the story and where it's headed.
Well, cuz this one's for you. My father passed away, and I was away. I was in jail. So I come home. I went to see my grandmother, had it at my cousin's house. I says, hey, where you have my father? She went to the bar. My father's in, it looks like a paint can, in the bar with all the liquor. I said, what the fuck's he doing down there? And in a paint can. She's like, you know your father. He never wanted anything, which he did. He wasn't a flashy guy. And he says he's having fun. He's with his liquor. That's my father loved to drink, always drank. So we had a laugh with that. Till this day, he's still in the paint can. So, a paint can in the bar with all the liquor. Anything?
Lori84 says gave $5.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution for the kids.
Dom, did you ever eat at Pasquale's Arthur Ave in the Bronx, owned by Patsy Perello, a Genovese?
Yes, the Genovese.
Yep, his son was killed there for slapping a Gambino's son.
I don't know about that, but I did eat in that location, and the food was okay. It was good.
Can't Stop, Won't Stop gave $4.99.
Thank you for the contribution.
And it says, Dom, did you ever meet Rich Porter back in the 80s?
No, I never met Rich Porter, but I did meet Alpo. Actually, we sold him some guns, Joey Cupcake and myself. And that was the first and only time I've ever met him.
Lee,
Woo, it's raining.
Lee, because they get honest afterwards with the names. It's not Pasquale's, it's Pasquale's.
Pasquales.
Okay?
Sorry.
Just saying.
See,
Pasquale.
that's why you're supposed to be asking the questions, not me today.
Well, she's hiding. She's drinking.
Yeah. Chris Breeder asked 2 questions. Did Vinny ever talk about his making ceremony? And did he tell you about the 3 captains' murders?
No, Vinny never spoke about that. And the only thing about the 3 captains we did speak about was Bruno got lucky. They got away. They wasn't there that evening. So it would have been 4 captains that got killed. What, the rain? Yeah, it's storming. Well, everybody, thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for the contributions. And as we do things for the kids, we'll let you know. We'll show everybody. We'll do photo ops.
Oh, we got one more.
What's that? Keep contributions. You speak up. I can't hear you.
Even though you're not on, you can still
Yes.
continue with the contributions.
Even though you're not on, you can still contribute. Thank you. But I can't hear. I'm deaf. It's raining.
We did get one more. We
Okay.
got one more. $10 from Joe. It says, "Who controlled Story of Queens? This is for the kids."
Thank you, Joe, for your contribution. Who curled
Yep, exactly.
Queens?
Astoria, Queens. This is for the kids.
Oh, I have no idea. Queens wasn't my territory. If you asked in the Bronx, I'll tell you. Go ahead.
And then, can you give us one Ernie Muscarella story, please?
One. I'll give you one. And this is for the kids because I want to stay on. I want people to donate. I'll give one Big Ernie story. And this is a short one. He used to go in New Rochelle to one of the hotels. Westchester County. He would go to one of the hotels, have a few cocktails. So maybe over the weekend he was there. During the week, I saw him. I said, "Hey, what's up?" So he's telling me, he says, "You'll never believe what happened." I said, "What happened?" He's at the bar. He's always quiet, but you look at him, just his appearance will scare you. Like he's a bear. He's a big man. Deep voice, big hands. Like it's some guy you don't want to fuck with. And he's at the bar. All of a sudden, somebody said something to him, and 3 guys. One went over the bar, threw into the bar. All the bottles went down, and the other 2 he just knocked them out. So later on, I went to the bar, and the bartender said, "Damn, your uncle's fucking tough." You know, and that was just one little story, nothing much, but he was somebody not to be reckoned with, even back then. So, guys, you have any questions? Anybody here? I guess not. Lee, anything else? Well, guys, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the contributions. It's greatly appreciated. It's going to the kids once again. We'll be showing everybody what we're going to be donating, who we're going to be donating to, and we're just going to keep on plugging away till we get up enough money that will make a difference. Everybody, I wish you the best. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, and peace out.